Let me set this up. Unfortunately, I had to stream on PS4 today because OBS just refuses to work. So I'm gonna do more Nier Automata because I need to do it anyways. So I'm not really happy. Let's put it that way. I'm a bit pissed off with this, but the hope is that I killed two birds with one stone with this recording, because I need to get some footage anyways, and I honestly don't know what the fuck that thing is. Like, why there was those three things dancing around, but apparently there are. Another thing to note, my L2 button doesn't work. Yeah, for some reason my L2 button just stopped working. I'm not joking. So my PS4 controller is fucked. Like, it really is. I can easily argue now that the PS4 controller is the worst controller of all time. Like, even worse than the Xbox 360 controller. Like, it's completely useless. Completely freaking useless. Like, at least the Xbox 360 controller, it feels comfortable to use. PS4 controller just feels like a piece of shit. Like, I honestly don't know what is going on with that freaking port. Like, honestly, I have no idea. But I need to get this footage anyways so that I can use it for later. So I might as well do Nier Automata, because I need to do this game at some point. So might as well do it now. And it's been ages since I've played this game, so I'm probably going to be playing like shit. I honestly don't know why it's doing that at all. Like, there's no explanation as to why it's doing that. But what I need to do is find out where I need to go next. But yeah, I have a massive rant to talk about with OBS, because that thing is literally cancer. Like, for some reason I can't... Now I can, but I couldn't before because they were all spread apart. So basically, this is the gist of what's been going on. And I have no idea why this has been going on, but it's been going on, so I'm going to talk about it. First of all, my controllers are completely fucking up. My PS2 controller's fucking up for some reason. Now, the reason is that, granted, it hasn't been doing it recently. It hasn't been doing it recently. Like, at first I was having problems with it playing Shadow Hearts from a New World, but now I'm not really having that many issues with it. It's starting to work properly now. So yeah, that's one problem out of the way. And as for my PS4 controller, well, the L2 button doesn't work. Don't know why it doesn't work anymore, but it doesn't work. And also, another little quirk of my PS4 controller is that, for some reason, it completely deactivates when I access a game. I have to turn it off, and then I have to turn it back on again every time I start a new game. Which makes absolutely no sense to me, but... like, I honestly don't know what's going wrong with it. Like, PS2 controller, now that, and now OBS doesn't want to record console games. Now, fortunately PS4 can record automatically, so I can stream on this, but... like, and I can also record with apps off, so I can still do videos of console games, but I can't do anything else. Like, I have to turn these things out now, because these things are causing a lot of noise.
The heck was that?
A forced message
That'll
from the
solve the
enemy
problem.
system.
Said message
But yeah,
relays the
I've been having nothing
locations
but
of
problems
objects known
streaming
as
recently.
resource
That's why I haven't been
recovery
streaming in a
units.
while.
Now they're
It's
just
just been
messing with
frustrating
us.
for me. Because I've been trying to do so many things and nothing seems to be working. Like, no matter what I do, yeah, it looks like I'm standing still. Oh, right, so I have to go all the way over here now. I see. But yeah, it seems I'm only going to be able to stream on PS4 now, which is... it's kind of annoying, because
Hey Pod, give me a rundown on
I
what
did want to
happened
stream
while I
other
was resting.
games, but it looks like I won't be able to do that anymore. Like, basically I got optimistic when I did a stream of console game before, but it's kind of disheartening now that OBS decides not to work, and
Large structural units?
maybe it will work, maybe it is something that I've done wrong, but I honestly can't tell. Like, if it is
What do
something I've
these
done
units
wrong,
do?
then
Where's A2?
I wish I could find out, but I highly doubt it, because
Alright.
the capture
Mark
card
the
itself
positions of
works
those units on my
perfectly
map, will you?
fine. It's not the capture card's... like, it's not... the capture card isn't the problem. It's just when I'm on OBS, it just doesn't want to work. So it records on ArcSoft, but not on OBS. Now, I do have a trump card. If,
I don't
well,
care
I'm not
about
actually
chain
sure
of
if that'll
command.
work, but
I have one goal
I'm
now.
going to try
I'm going to
XSplit.
kill
And I
every
was going to
last
use
machine.
XSplit.
And then I'm going to kill A2.
I was going to use XSplit, but I had to do all this setting up, and I knew it would take forever to do. So I thought, fuck it, I'm not going to use XSplit. I'll just record off PS4, because I just had enough at that point. Like, I just had enough of the bullshit, having to set it all up, and it is a pain to set up the capture card. Like, it really is. Like, it seems to me that OBS, the only thing OBS is good for is recording PC games. And it's the same old problem time and time again that I have with these recording software. Like, I always have problems with recording software. Like, every single time, like, problems occur with recording software. Like, one minute they work perfectly fine, the next minute they don't. It's like, that's one thing that I've always noticed with recording software. Like, one minute, perfectly fine, they work perfectly. The next minute, they just don't work at all, and you basically have to try a new one. That's basically the gist of recording software. I don't know why this is the case, but it is. Like, I feel gimp playing this game right now because I can't actually use the shield, which is the L2 function. You can press L2 to use the shield, which can block attacks. So I'm kind of handicapped because of my controller, which is a minor annoyance, but fortunately, since I can play this game blindfolded, because, well, I am on easy difficulty, bear in mind, so yeah, it's obviously going to be easy. Well, I'm not on easy difficulty, I'm on normal difficulty, which feels ridiculously easy, at least later on. Like, it does get harder, but it feels a lot easier when you're playing it later on, because, like, it just does. And plus you have tons of items as well that you can exploit. Like, well, not exploit, but abuse, just spamming items and shit. So, yeah, there's that. So the game isn't really all that hard. It's just I'm unable to do a certain function, which really doesn't matter, considering the fact that the best way to beat these guys is to just hack them anyways. Pretty much, that's the best way to defeat them. And there's no music playing at the moment. I don't know why there isn't any music playing at the moment. Like, did I turn the music off? Maybe it was because last time I was streaming. Or maybe there is no music. Well, I'll be able to find out. Because I swear last time I streamed there was music. Or maybe there just isn't any music for this point. I don't know what is going on with my... because something's happening with my RGB cables here. I'm just going to take the red cable out because it's just making that fuzzy noise. Right, I'm just going to turn the sound down as well. That'll solve the problem. That way, it'll be a lot easier, and I can get to my objective and move on with this game. Like, I'm seriously dreading reviewing this game. I really am. I've been procrastinating a lot since I did my Odin Sphere review. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't really been doing much. Like, especially knowing that I have this to do, and I also have Shadow Warrior to do, which, yeah, those are my reviews that I'm working on. Just spoiled it for you all, so there you go. Whether I actually do the reviews or not depends. Depends on whether I get fed up of it or not. But yeah, that's why I'm doing all these recordings, so that I can actually do a review. But honestly, this game's left me like, I just don't know what to say about this game. Like, I really don't. I've played this game for like this long, and I honestly have absolutely no comment on it. Like, no comment whatsoever. Now, there is another thing that I want this footage for. Well, I might use it, I might not. But there is something else that I'm working on as well. So, and I've had it on the back burner for a while now. It's just like, I've noticed that I've been doing a lot less recently than I normally have. And a lot less content's been coming out. And this is before the YouTube thing, by the way. Like, this has gone on for a long time. So, you probably, if you've been watching the YouTube channel only, you probably haven't seen my blogs, or you haven't actually seen my blogs on Destructoid. And it's come to the point now where I don't really do much content, like, in terms of quantity at all. Like, I really don't. And it's come to the point that my standards have just gone, like, it's got to the point where my standards just overwhelm me in a lot of ways. And while I do want to maintain those standards, it's just a case of, like, at times it's just gonna really feel like it's difficult to maintain those standards. And Nier Automata is one of those games in which maintaining the standards is pretty difficult because, well, when it comes to a review, because it's a difficult game to review. And the main reason why it's a difficult game to review is because, well, the story is one of them. Like, the story is, like, I have no idea what is going on in this game. I'm on the C path, I'm guessing, because I've got 2 endings so far. And, well, not including any of the joke endings, I did get one of those as well. But, like, I got the A ending and the B endings, so I'm taking this is the C path, and I still don't know what the hell is going on in the story. I get the gist, but there really isn't anything interesting that's pulled me into the story as of yet. Now, for some reason it says pause. I don't know why. I honestly don't know what happened there. Like, for some reason the shield just triggered, and I don't even have the ability to use my shield, which makes absolutely no sense to me, but I don't know anymore. Everything just seems to be fucking up. Everything just seems to be fucking up now, and I don't know why. It's as if I don't know, it's like as if my controller's possessed or something. Either that or OBS is possessed, because I could believe that, considering how much trouble it's been giving me recently. And, like, it's like, I have streamed with OBS before on console. I have done it. It has worked before, and I've done exactly the same thing as I did before this time, just like I always do. So it's not like, for example, it's not working because, like, for a specific reason. It's just not working. That's basically all there is to it. Like, it just does not want to work. I'm gonna just check the sound to see if it's actually What the fuck? I'm serious here. This is literally what happens. Well, actually, no. This is something completely new. What's this problem now? Another problem with my PS4 controller. Never ceases to amaze me, does this thing. It never does. Maybe this is the game fucking up. I won't be surprised, because this is Nier Automata, but I can't even access my map, which is a bit of a problem. But, like, if the game's doing this, then there's no excuse for that bullshit. That's all I'm gonna say. Like, it really shouldn't be doing that.
Huh?
But
Fog?
Analysis. The fog is actually steam emitted by a large enemy structural unit.
Steam? For what purpose?
yeah, like,
Unknown.
I haven't really been looking forward to playing this game exactly. I've been pretty bored of it, to say the least. Hence the reason why I haven't been playing it, because it is really boring. That's what this game is. It's just boring. Right now, at least. Like, I'm just fed up of it. Like, I mean, the game was fun at the beginning, and I do think the game is worth playing, but, like, it's just getting really boring for me now. It really is. Like, there's nothing more new in the combat system. Like, when I'm playing a game, like, as I say, level up. Yeah, I leveled up, but what do I get for it? What do I get for leveling up? I get jack shit for leveling up, that's what I get. And yeah, I am in a bad mood, so that's probably affecting the morale of this stream. So I apologise for that, but still can't get over the fact that OBS refuses to work. But yeah, this game just, it's come to the point where I'm just not having fun with it anymore. Like, I'm just not. Like, there was a time where I was having fun with this game. I'm not gonna lie, there was.
This is the resource recovery unit. Now activating defense mode.
But now the game's just gotten really boring. And the more I play of this game, like the A end is fine. Like, the A end was brilliant. Everything about the A end, well, not everything, but the A end was fun. I had fun playing the A
Is this
path.
writing? I can't read it.
But pretty much every other path
Writing is
onwards.
an ancient language known as angelic. It reads, meat box.
Okay then.
Like, everything after the A path has been shit. It has. Like, it's like, there's just no point in playing this game once you beat the A ending. That's all I'm going to say. Like, all these people who say, ooh, you have to play again and again and again, you have to play more. Well, I don't see a reason to play any further than the A ending. I really don't.
Is this
Like,
entire building made of machines? Even on the inside?
Analysis.
because,
Many useless parts
I mean,
unrelated
unless
to
you're really
machine
into the
platform
story at that
functionality
point,
detected. The reason
I
for
just
using
personally
said
wouldn't
parts is
recommend
unknown.
playing anymore.
There's no
Like,
meaning
there's
to
just no
anything they
reason to
do.
go on the B path and the C path unless you are really into, like, the story, and I'm just not right now. But that's only from what I played. It might get better, I don't know. But, like, I've pretty much maxed out this weapon right now. I've got the best weapon well, it's got the I've got the weapon that I want for him, and it really doesn't make any difference with 9S, because no matter what you equip him with, aside from the, like, chips, of course, like, he's still going to be useless because he's mainly about hacking, and it's all about how good of a hacker you are. But as for 2A, like, it's come to the point where there's really nothing new. Like, I suppose I could get something new, but there's just no point anymore. Like, once I've maxed out a weapon, I just want to stick with that. And even still, it's just mashing the button. That's basically all 9S is. Now, with 2A I get to mash another button, which is always nice, I guess, but playing 9S, it's literally mashing one button or pressing another button and doing a mini game. That's literally what this character is. So basically, I have to climb up this tower, and I have no idea how I'm supposed to do that, but I'm guessing we go down here, because I don't know. Deep down, the game I wanted to play, I think I've been yeah. The game I wanted to play, well actually I'm not going to mention that because there's no point mentioning it now. Yeah, I'll have you all guess what that is, even though you probably won't guess, but it's just a shame that I won't be doing it, that's all I can say really. But yeah, last time I streamed this game I wasn't really enthusiastic to begin with, like, I really wasn't. I will say, I do like this kind of like level design of this area, which is pretty nice, but and how it presents all these enemies and shit, like, but it doesn't make up for like the playable, but like what gets pretty boring gameplay. Like, that's the thing, this game plays well enough, like the combat is smooth, it's easy, it's accessible, and it's fun for a while, like, but it just gets really boring because there's no depth whatsoever in this game. Like, it just lacks focus, and I've mentioned this countless times before, this game lacks focus. It just needs to stop trying to be everything at once and stop with all these like mini games and shit, like hacking mini games and shit, and like shoot 'em up sections, and just focus on the combat. So I'm about as fed up as 9S is right now, pretty much. But yeah, like, apparently this game is Game of the Year to a lot of people. Well, actually, that's the thing. I think a lot of people are changing their minds now. Like, the hype of this game is pretty much dead now. Like, that's one thing I'll definitely say for the fact. So, I think a lot of people are oh shit. Be more. Fuck! This is really good as this. Like, suicide enemies. Fortunately, I have the ability to regenerate my health, which is always handy. Right, so did I come from there, or do I go this way? I guess I'm going this way. I guess I am. Because I've just noticed that the marker's there, so... No enemies. Well, that's one way to get to the other side. So yeah, like, I've been procrastinating and just basically did this stream to tell everybody that, because, like, well, mainly I've been trying to put off reviewing this game. That's mainly what I've been trying to do, because, like, Odin Sphere was really fun to play. Like, I had a lot of fun playing Odin Sphere late this year, and I had a lot of, like, I spent a lot of time playing on it, and it took a while. Like, Odin Sphere is a pretty long game. It kind of is, like, a really long game, and getting through it takes time. So Like, I mean, I recommend it definitely, but you're gonna need to invest some time into it. Definitely, that's one thing I'll definitely say about it. Like, it requires some time investment, and like, it's not really a game for everyone. Like, you have to be a specific type of person to enjoy Odinsphere, and I am that type of person. Well, not the original at least, but like the remaster, yeah, it's a game designed for people like me. So if you have the same taste as me, then you're definitely going to like it. Like, if you like visuals and you don't hate repetition and you like action, there's plenty of it in, like, plenty of top quality action visuals and all that lot in Odinsphere later this year. And you should totally check it out. Like, it's definitely worth playing. Like, in fact, you could actually say that, considering, like considering the fact that the original, like, Odinsphere had so many issues, like, it's kind of been like, for me, it's been like a more like, can this game redeem itself sort of deal. Well, and as a result, because of that, like, I just feel that I haven't really got to experience the game in the same way.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
Looks like I'm not the only person that's unhappy today. But, yeah. But like, the game could be seen as repetitive to some people, but I think, considering, like, narrative-wise, it's different for every character. Like, and, like, you're seeing different perspectives, and you have to really understand what the story's all about. And in a way, like, you could argue the same thing for this game, because this game is very... it seems to be doing a similar thing to Odinsphere. There's a difference though. Odinsphere, Lathency's story is very straightforward and simple. Like, it's as straightforward as you can get. It's a simple story, easy to understand and get to grips with, whereas this game is convoluted. Like, it really is. Maybe I'm just hard to impress, but this game, story-wise, hasn't impressed me at all. Like, I'm not gonna lie though, like, I'm not much of a story guy usually, unless it's Warcraft 3 or like the Warcraft series, which I really like. And that game I played mainly for the story anyways. Like, I'm not a big fan of RTS, I'm not.
Machine parts.
I mean, I don't think the game itself is really
Perhaps
bad.
These are raw materials from the structure
but,
itself, possibly useful for creating weapons.
Weapons,
like,
eh?
I'm just terrible at RTS, and I don't really get that much out of that gameplay personally. But the story is what I play it for. Now, this story, like, this story is just ridiculously convoluted for the sake of being convoluted. It's like, Warcraft 3's story is basically simple stuff. Pretty much, it's simple stuff.
Prepare energy.
And I'm not
Close
saying that
range
convoluted
fire
stories are bad, I just say,
Maximum output.
when you execute a game like this,
Fire.
where you have to do multiple playthroughs, then... And plus, I think the biggest problem was the fact that a lot of the characters are androids. I do think the multiple perspectives don't work half as well if you don't have interesting characters. So yeah, that's basically the gist of Nier Odinsphere. Like, it's just one of those games that it's not for everyone, but some people will really love it a lot, whereas some people might love it a bit, and other people might not like it. That's basically the gist of it. Yep, I get the gist. Let's move on. But as for Nier Automata, it's kind of a case of, like, I honestly don't know. Like, I don't know whether anyone's going to, like, I don't know what this game is for. Like, it's not easy to define or to figure out whether a game's for you when it tries to be everything at once. It's not easy when a game tries to do so many different things when it comes to recommending games to people, because different people want different things. That's the thing. And I think the reason why this game was successful and the reason why this game got a lot of hype was because it did everything. And because it did everything at once, it attracted a lot of people because of the fact that it does everything. The problem with doing everything, though, is, like, nothing stands out. And you don't really get, like, I mean, it benefits the like, not really the mass market, but it benefits the publishers, definitely, because they get the mass market, because games that do everything attract the mass market. They do. And that's another thing that I want to bring up as well, like, people, if you really want to know whether a game is for you, like, there are plenty of reviewers out there that can give you a really more deep insight and like, there's a lot of reviews out there that can give you a deep insight as to whether the game is for you or not. Like, but don't listen to anyone. Like, don't listen to anyone's opinion when it comes to deciding whether a game is for you or not. Ask someone that you personally trust, like a reviewer that you trust. Be sure to read a review from a reviewer that you trust, particularly a reviewer that isn't on a mass media outlet. Particularly a freelance reviewer, like, I don't know, like, there's plenty of them, like Shintai, for example, there's Remote RPGs, there's BioPhoenix, there's tons of them. I mean, Boston doesn't do them anymore, so I can't really recommend him, but there's a lot of people out there who do some pretty solid reviews. And not just them as well. Like, those are just ones that I pick out. So, you really want to be... If you want to, you know, like, find out whether the game's for you, you want to check out people like them. Independent reviewers who aren't too big, because you'll find that those people actually do a lot more work in their reviews and put a lot more effort into them. And why is that? Because they value the effort of actually the content over the marketing. Plus, a lot of people, and this is something that's important to know as well, like, a lot of people, the reason why they're big is because, like, they do all that marketing, but also the big people, they tend to do a lot of content, like a large quantity of content. And this is where the things, like, this is where the problems happen, because they do a lot of, like, a high quantity of content. A lot of people value high quantity over high quality, but the thing about it is that the people who do high quality of content, their content isn't worse. The reason why people do a high quantity of content is because it generates more views and it generates more income for people who do that. Either that, or they're on Patreon, or like Twitch streamers, for example, but that's not reviewers. But like, websites will probably use advertisements as well, even though they're going downhill just like YouTube is in certain ways. Well, they've been going downhill for years, so... But it's all about monetization. That's why people have all these schedules and stuff for, like, when they review, and that's why they review everything, like, which is stupid. Like, all these front page writers that write on these mass media outlets, like, they don't know what they're talking about, because they're doing something that is literally impossible. They're following a system that's completely broken. and that's the well, not the triple A, but the mass media review system. Mass media outlets should not do game reviews. Like, I'm serious. I think that sites like IGN and Destructoid and all that lot, they shouldn't do game reviews, and they should just stick to objective content. Like, sites like IGN and Destructoid should really focus mainly on objective journalism, and not ever delve into anything subjective. And that's the thing, like, I think that reviews on these mass media outlets have caused so many issues. Like, especially, well, pretty much every single one of the sites, like, reviews have caused them nothing but issues. Like, don't even know what that is, but yeah. Like, what I'm mainly talking about with, like, in terms of the issue is that it basically does nothing but build controversy on the site. Maybe that's a form of marketing that they do. I have no idea, but if it is, then I think it's pretty silly. Honestly, I do. I'm going the wrong way, aren't I? But I just think that all these mass media outlets are just a waste of time going to these days. Like, I just think that they really shouldn't do reviews. Like, they shouldn't, because reviews cannot be objective. They can't. You need someone, like, it's different because people don't trust these outlets anyways, and the people that do trust them, well, they're, for the most part, pretty gullible. So, yeah, that's the thing, you see. So, you could argue that what I'm saying is biased, but I think that it would be best for everyone, because these sites, like, unless they're looking for the marketing and, like, the controversy, like, it's not like they gain anything from doing reviews. Not really. They, like, the mass market, they just want news, because they don't need reviews. Like, what kind of casual gamer actually watches or reads reviews? Like, no one does. Like, the mass market don't give a shit about reviews. They just want to know what's out, and they'll basically just buy it, because to them, the marketing itself is the review. That's pretty much it. If it's marketed and it has, like, big, like, action scenes in the trailer, they're going to want to buy it, and no review's going to change their mind. So really, it's just the core audience, and the core audience, well, I suppose they trust them, but is it really worth it? Because, like, I just don't think it is. I don't think that people want to do reviews that write on these sites. I don't think they want to do that content. Like, oh shit, what the fuck? It's like one of those blood dragons from Far Cry 3 Blood Dragon, but at the same time, it's kind of different. Oh shit. Does it say metal monster? This would be easier if I just hacked, wouldn't it? It would be a lot easier if I just hacked. Well, I can at least take out this dinosaur thing, or dragon thing, whatever you want to call it, with regular attacks. I mean, it can't hurt. But in any case, that is basically my point with, like, major review outlets doing, or like mass media outlets doing reviews. I just think that doesn't benefit anyone, really, and like, the people working for them, they just don't have the knowledge to do reviews. They just don't. They're journalists, and I do think there is a difference between journalists and game reviewers. Like, I think there's a big difference. Like, for starters, like, there's a difference in how they're presented. Like, journalists have to present themselves professionally, and they kind of, like, that's the thing, they have to have that professional, like, style to them, if you know what I mean, and that's just the way it is. Like, they also have to know their audience and know how to like please that audience. You know what I mean? And with the mass media outlets, it's like, oh shit, that wasn't good. Well, that's the thing, like, they don't really have to... Oh, this is just taking forever, I'm just gonna hack him. It's not that they... Oh god, my TV's making that sound again. Crap. But it's not that they... Oh shit. It's gonna be a rough one with this. It's not that they really have to, it's not like reviewers don't have to appease to their audience as well, really. But there is a difference to what would be better as a journalist and what would be just better as a writer. And that's the thing, like, that's the big issue with it all. Yeah, I need to... Okay, this just makes no sense to me whatsoever. Oh, fuck. Can I just kill him by just whacking him? Oh, shit. This is, like... I mean, just look at this. Like, this is obviously the best way to do it. Just basically hack him. Just lost the ability to give a shit, to be honest. Whatever, I'll just whack you to death. You're on low health anyways, so... Right, there we go. So, there's also the worm thing, I don't know, oh yeah, it's still there. But, yeah, I just think, like, these people... Like, a lot of the people that work in these mass media outlets, they're there because they're really good at, like... They're kind of like publicly correct people, you know what I mean? They have to be. And it requires a special, like, temperament to be a worker on these sites, you know what I mean? But because of that, like, they have no freedom when it comes to, like, well, not as much freedom when it comes to, like, opinions, like, and subjectivity, because they're constantly getting scrutinized, and they represent the website, so that's kind of the thing about it, you see, and as such, I just think that reviews would be best to be left to the independents, honestly. Like, it would be. Like, it would basically be better for everyone. That means everybody, like, rather than everybody trying to do every single thing, we have people doing jobs that they're specifically good at. And I think that's the problem. And I also think that one of the issues is that they have to hire all these staff and they can't afford it, so they have people do different jobs that they really don't care to do. And honestly, like, I think that, like, what surprises me the most is that these mass media outlets have still been going on for so long. Like, honestly, like, I just don't know what keeps them going. With things like YouTube, which, like, if I want to read a review or, like, look at a review, honestly, I would pick YouTube. Even though I write reviews myself. I mean, sometimes I do look at written reviews as well, but with YouTube you get to see it and shit. So, yeah. I suppose that's why I do these streams as well, because people do want to see the shit. I try to kill two birds with one stone sometimes by doing gameplay videos, but it depends. Sometimes I do it, sometimes I don't. Depends on what I fancy. Like, this game is really easy to just lose your way in. Like, I can't believe I'm getting lost already. Like, where the fuck am I going? Like, yeah. But that's just the way it is with the mass market and shit. And what they want, and they clearly want this game. And that's why I say trust reviewers that are independent. And also reviewers that are late. Don't, like, that's another thing, like, people need to stop buying games at launch. People really need to stop doing that. Now, if they stopped doing that, then yeah, of course publishers would react to that, and they'd be like, well, we need a new method, and, like, they'd find a way, they would, but there's a lot of reasons why. Like, not only is it that publishers get all the money, but, and you could argue that it hurts the developers, but, like, I mean, there's nothing wrong, like, I'd say with indie developers it's different. Like, support the indies, support them, like, buy their games day one just for the fact that you're supporting them, and just think of it like that. You're supporting your cause when you buy a game day one if it's an indie game. But when you're buying a game day one that is a AAA game, you really, all you're doing for the most part is just fucking things up more. Like, all you're doing, you're not helping the developers, you're helping the publisher, because the developers get next to nothing out of it. Now you could argue, oh, like, developers will get something. No, like, the only way developers are going to get anywhere is if they, like, get out of their contract with the publisher. Like, if you get into a contract with EA or Activision, you are basically writing your death sentence in a way. Like, you're basically singing your requiem. That's pretty much what you're doing if you partner up with those guys, because those guys are going to just fuck you over. That's all they're going to do. And, I mean, just look at what's recently happened to Visceral and soon to be, like, Respawn Entertainment. So, yeah. Like, you just don't want to join them. Like, just avoid Electronic Arts and don't end up like Visceral. Pretty much, that's what you want to do. And just avoid that company. Just avoid all these companies. Avoid Activision as well. Like, that's what I'd say to developers, because no one wants game developers to die, but we all want publishers to die, because that means that the indie development teams, they get more chance in this industry, and that means, because indie developers do want to change things, they want to change the formula, they want to cater to specific audiences, and they do well doing that. And if it wasn't for this AAA, the mass market would have no choice but to go and play the indie titles, and that would make things so much better for everyone. Really, it would. And
don't let them take anything else from us.
Yeah, these guys are a bit annoying because of their boots. Their electrified boots. So, yeah, that's basically what I have to say on it. Like, if these mass media outlets go, it's not much, like, basically anything official is just bad. Pretty much. Don't trust anything that's big and powerful in gaming, because anything that's big and powerful in gaming is going to fuck you over. At this point, at least. Like, and it's mainly because of the way, like, systems have worked, and they have to do these things to stay at the top. That's just the way it is. You couldn't, like, you could say that these companies, like, are evil, but, like, I think really it's just the way things have gone. Like, I think calling them evil would be a bit too black and white, but self-interested would be a good word, but obviously there's shareholders involved for a lot of them, so there's that. But, like, and then there's companies like Electronic Arts that are just completely unethical. Like, I don't think that all mass media outlets are unethical. Like, not everything in gaming that's mass media is unethical. Like, for example, before IGN took it over, Humble Bundle wasn't unethical, but, well, it says it all really, that it kind of says it all that, oh shit, what the fuck is going on now? Oh shit. But yeah, it really does say a lot about what happened to Humble Bundle. And then there's GOG. Like, GOG is perfectly fine. Like, I might shit on The Witcher 3. Like, I might shit on The Witcher 3, but I have nothing against CD Projekt Red as a company at all. Like, I have nothing against them as developers either. Like, I just don't like their game. Witcher 3, that's it. Like, I'm pretty sure they could make a good game. Like, apparently some of the people that work for CD Projekt Red used to work on Two Worlds, so they do have some talent, and a lot of people would say, like, Two Worlds, like, that's not really a good thing. Well, I like Two Worlds too. Two Worlds was fun because of how bad it was. It was one of those games that's so bad it's good. Two Worlds 2, I had a lot of fun playing it, so yeah, haters can hate. But as for, like, CD Projekt Red as a company, got nothing against them. Like, they even give away free games, for heaven's sake. Like, these companies, you can't really complain. Like, a lot of people complain about Valve, and it's just like, please, like, Valve, why are you complaining about Valve of all people, when other companies like Microsoft, Sony, you know, they screw us over way more than Valve do. Like, Sony are like asshats, pretty much, at this point. But Microsoft is still the biggest asshats. Like, that's why I'm playing a PS4 and not an Xbox One. By the way, just so you're wondering, I bought this console second hand, and I'm glad I did. Because there's no way I would pay, like, for a brand new PS4 console. No way. I mean, the hardware itself is just shit. Like, everything about consoles these days is shit. That's another thing I want to get to. Like, consoles aren't going to last, people. Like, if you think consoles are going to survive, you are incredibly naive. And a lot of people said, oh, well, they said that before and we proved you wrong and all that shit. No, like, I'm talking about the long term here, people. Like, consoles will die. Like, we just don't know when they'll die. All consoles are doing now is delaying the inevitable, and as such, they're milking consoles, like, all these console manufacturers are milking the consoles while they can. That's what they're doing with all these, like, subscription services and all this other crap, like PlayStation Plus. It's all milking. Like, they don't give a shit about you anymore. Like, they don't give a shit about pleasing the consumer. All they give a shit about is milking what they can, and people still buy into it, which is pretty sad if you ask me. It pretty much is. I don't know what that bit up there is. Like, it's kind of weird, is this? This place has changed. Or has it changed? I don't know. Right, so that's there. I'm just confused right now. I don't know why I'm confused, but I am. This is probably the most cynical I've ever been on a stream, but it makes sense considering the fact that my blog is called Cynical Gaming Blog, so I'm not complaining. Oh shit. Well, at least I can dodge. But I'm just going... Oh, I could hack it, couldn't I? Yeah, that's a point. Yeah, this will be easier. Just hack the guy. Hack the big guys. Just not worth the effort fighting, so let's just hack them. Oh shit. That went well. Let's hack them again. But yeah, that's what happens these days. You get all these big AAA and big companies that just, like, I think they're struggling. I really do. I think, like, you could argue that they're greedy. Yes, they are. But at the same time, they are struggling to find methods. That's what they really are desperate for money. They really are desperate for money, and yeah, they will do anything for money now. Like, it's like, there is no value in pleasing the consumer anymore. Now, these companies do have money, I'm not saying they don't. They have plenty of money, but it's just the long term that they're concerned about. These companies don't know how to, like, do long term business. They don't. And you can clearly see it, like, between 7th gen and 8th gen, you can clearly see that a lot of big game developers have just lost the plot. They've just lost their way, and now they're trying to do other things, but, like, whether they're actually succeeding or not, I don't know really, because it's kind of mixed, but they're trying to do different things now, and, like, remasters are coming out because people like old games and shit, even though the remasters are for, like, games from generations prior to all this shit. And yeah, that's basically the gist of it. Like, it's come to the point that you're seeing a lot of, like, spiritual successors and, like, all that shit and remasters. This is the era of spiritual successors and remasters. That's what it is. The problem is, all those spiritual successors and remasters are under budget. Pretty much. Either indie developers are basically making it, or, like, AAA just can't be bothered to fund it. Because they don't have enough, like, let's put it this way, they don't have enough faith in it, which is kind of silly. But it also goes to show just how hard, like, how much they're struggling, because they don't know whether their games are good anymore. They just don't know what people want. I don't know, like, that's the thing, like, I think there's games like Nier Automata which do well, and, like, to me it's pretty obvious, like, it's trying to be everything at once, but honestly, if you ask me why things have been going wrong for all these big companies, if anything, because that's the thing, if anything, like, they're perfectly fine, really. Like, there's nothing really wrong with what's going on with the companies. They're not really struggling or anything. It's just that in the long, they're trying to experiment at this point. You can tell that they are, and they really don't know what it is. They really don't have a game plan at this point. Like, at least for, like, the games that they're making. They have a game plan as to, like, what they want to do, like, in the future. Like, oh, what the hell? For that. Not sure if I'll do that quest or not. Oh, nice. Right, so yeah, quest. But that's just the state of things right now. Like, they're just trying to, not only are they trying to find new ways to extort money out of us, but they're also trying to find games that, oh shit, they're also trying to find out what is popular with the mass market these days, because the mass market, I think the mass market is starting to get a bit fed up, if I'm honest. Like, but I'm not actually sure if they are getting fed up. I just think that there isn't a sure thing anymore. You know what I mean? There is, like, back in 7th gen, like, making a first-person shooter, particularly if it was like Call of Duty, was a sure thing. It's not a sure thing anymore, and that's why all this is happening. Like, there was a time where Final Fantasy was a sure thing. It isn't anymore. Like, there was a time where everyone would buy it. Now it's just, like, not the case anymore. And they've had to change. I honestly don't know where I'm going. Like, maybe I should just check the map, but last time I checked the map it just went wrong, so Is there something really wrong with my controller? Is there? Right. Where is that? Flooded City Coast. Yeah, I don't know what's going on now. I literally can't go anywhere else on the menu, so... I think that my controller is broken. I honestly think it's broken. Either that or it's a game reason, I don't know why, but... Everything seems to be on its last legs. Like, all of my hardware seems to be on its last legs, I don't know why, but it just seems to be. And software as well. I don't even know where I was going now. Alright, where the fuck was I going? Now it's got paused on, and now it's got that bullshit going on. Right, so... This is the Flooded City. Oh, I know where we have to go. Oh, it all makes sense now. That door that was blocked off. Now I know where we're going. How could I fucking miss that? Right, we're going here. But yeah, that brings me on to another topic, this whole, like, mass media and shit, like... Let's put it this way. Like, I posted my own Sphere for Series review on Destructoid. And... nothing. Absolutely nothing, like, whatsoever. Like... And... It's funny really, and I think the recapper, if he does watch this, he'll know exactly who he is. Like, no hard feelings, you can have your opinion, I don't care. Like, it's your opinion, but... He basically said that my review wasn't concise, and that review should be a taste of a game and not like everything, and basically he just said that my review was too complicated or something, I don't know. Which, well, what can I say? If you think my review's complicated, you obviously haven't watched the Yahtzee review. I mean, even I don't know what the Yahtzee review is all about, like, even I don't know what he's saying half the time, because he speaks so quickly that just nonsense half the time. And this is coming from someone who likes Painkiller as well, like... But, yeah, like, no wonder people like Yahtzee are so popular, because people obviously don't give a shit what people have to say in a review, like, cool, that doesn't matter. Apparently, like, people don't want to actually people don't read reviews or watch reviews to find out whether they want to play the game. That's kind of the gist of things now. Well, so it seems, like, and to be honest, I'll admit, like, I watch reviews of games I already own, because I like to watch reviews, and also because, like, it's good to watch reviews when you write reviews so you know how to write well, you know what I mean? Gives you ideas and all that lot, but, like, it's just like, I don't think people do watch reviews to find out whether they want a game or not. People, like, that's what I'll always cater to, because I'm sure there are people who do, but I don't think the masses do. But in any case, Destructoid, I can't see myself staying there very long. Like, I really can't. Like, I think I'm basically done with the site, honestly. I'm not sure if I'll do one of my reviews on there, because one of the people on the site, one of the community members, did give me Shadow Warrior. So, it feels wrong for me not to do Shadow Warrior on the site. Like, it's not their fault that I'm leaving, or I want to leave. Not really. The reason why I want to leave is simply because, like, I just don't think people want my content. And I just think people don't want me there. It's that simple, like, I don't know, I've just been given the silent treatment by a lot of people there, like, and not all people, some people still talk to me in that sense, but I don't know, like, people just seem to, it's like, the vibe I'm getting from Destructoid is that, like, they're just waiting for me to go, or so it seems. People on the site that just want me gone, and I just get that vibe. Maybe I'm just too cynical, but I just get that vibe that there are people that just want rid of me, and like, that's perfectly fine. Like, I don't have to stay on the site. Like, it's not like I get anything from it. Like, not now. Like, I got literally nothing on my Odin Sphere review. I mean, people read it, but nobody commented. People, like thumbed it up and that on, but there was no comments, and it's just like, I know I might seem like I'm kind of like selfish, because I know there's a lot of other bloggers on there, and there's some good ones, though I've noticed that it's kind of declined, like, over the course of time. Still can't go here. So, yeah, that's basically the gist. Really, like, I just feel that Destructoid just doesn't want my content there. My content isn't Destructoid friendly, let's put it that way. I think I've probably triggered a few nerves on Destructoid, and that might be why, because I might have done that in the past when I've had my controversial blogs. I might have, like, triggered a few people, but, like, I just want to share my opinions, that's basically it. Like, but I do think that a lot of people just don't like me on the site. They've just taken it upon themselves to not like me, but they do it in a kind of like, and as I say, maybe it's just me being cynical, but they do it in kind of like a two-faced way, in the sense that, you know, like, they don't say it to my face, it's just, you can kind of tell, you know what I mean?
Soul box.
But the good thing is that there's a lot of other people, like, on YouTube that I've managed to get to know, and you all know who you are, and they support me, so it's kind of like, I have people, like, that watch my content. I have people who I can consider friends on YouTube. Like, why do I need to be on Destructoid anymore? Like, I just don't see why I need to be there when they don't consume my content and they don't seem to care about what I say, and a lot of people just seem to want me gone. And, like, I didn't just go on Destructoid for, like, just to plug my content. Like, well, I did originally, but I stayed for the community, you know what I mean? Like, and there still are people on there that I do like, but it's come to the point now that, oh shit, that went well. That it's difficult to, like, a lot of people have left the site. It's one of those sites where people just come and go. Like, nobody stays on Destructoid. Like, even the front page writers just leave after a while, and, like, nobody really stays. And I've noticed recently, especially, that a lot of the old regulars, like, people that have been on there for a while, but they haven't been posting a long time. Like, a lot of people just haven't been on there that I used to know, like, and it's just like, even some of the people that were newer, like newer people that joined, like, they stopped going on the site, and it's just that, you know, I just don't think that Destructoid's a stable community. I just don't, and that's part of the reason why I've had enough of being on there. Like, the news, I don't get anything out of the news, because, like, I get newsletters from Humble Bundle, and that's literally enough for me. Like, the best things I've gotten out of, like, Destructoid have mainly been, like...
Oh, I get it. I have to break the system protection before I can reach the core. Huh. So that's how it works.
But yeah, it's mainly been, like... Which, yeah, completely forgot what I was talking about because Ninus interfered.
Look at all the machine life forms you've murdered.
But,
Such dogged
yeah, like...
persistence is worthy of its wonderful...
They're just messing with us.
As a reward for trying to understand machine life forms via frequent hacking sessions, we have a special present for you.
It's just that I just don't see any point in me being there anymore. Like, that's just the thing, really. Like, it used to be the case that a lot of people on there were, like, always on there, and I used to know a lot of people on there, but even some of the people that I know, a lot of them have just gone. It comes to the point that I just don't think that, like, people like me anymore on there. Like, some people do, I'm sure that they do, but I just think the new people they just don't want to know, pretty much. And, yeah, like,
Analysis.
there's just no
There
point
are
in
2
me...
blocking devices on this floor. Proposal. Hack into all blocking devices.
There's just no point in me sticking around in a place where I just don't feel that
Analysis. Access
wants
to
me
elevator
around, you know
control
what I mean?
system blocked by
That's just the
external
way I
factor.
am, like, there's people who, like, do their best to stick around in places, but the way I see it is, the moment that I feel like I'm wasting my time being there, like, I'm just gone. Like, I don't waste my time if people don't want me there. I just leave. It's that simple, and that goes for anything. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time for the, like, I'm not gonna waste my time if people are just gonna, like, not want me there. Like, that's just the way it is. Like, I want to devote my time to people who want me to devote my time to them, not people who just don't care. Like, if you just don't care, then there's just no point in me even bothering, you know what I mean? And it's going to be a shame, and, well, it kind of is a shame, because I like comments, I like chatting with people, and, like, it's just getting a bit more difficult to do that now. And it's just the thing, like, it's kind of sad in a way, because the thing is, the more effort I put in, and this is how it seems to be to me, it seems the more effort that I put in, the less I get out of it. That seems to be the case, especially on Destructoid. Like, when I put a lot of work into something, I don't get half as much back from it, but when I put basically no effort into something, like, God, this is a really rough one, is this? Because there's all these damage areas around. I want to kill that thing, but it's not easy to do so. Right, let's see if I can... Fuck. But, yeah, it's like... It just seems that the payoff just isn't working in that sense, like... Now, any normal person would just say, fuck it, I'll just make half-assed content. And that's the thing I do. This is one of them. This is a half-assed stream that I'm doing that is easy to do. But, like, I want to do content that requires some effort, you know what I mean? Like, I'm a creative type of person in certain ways, and I like to focus on content rather than just, like, trying to, like, market myself, because that's not really my definition of success. What I want in success is, like, my definition of succeeding is to actually do something right. And if you can't do a job right, like, you just shouldn't bother doing it at all, and that's kind of the way I see things. I'm a perfectionist in that regard, and, like, I just noticed it, like, people just don't care about top quality content. Well, the best quality content that you can do, that I do, put that way. People just don't really seem to want it. And especially on Destructoid, people just don't want it on there. I kind of got the gist a while back. And I'm sure there are people who do want top quality content, but that's the thing, like, there's people who do, and then there's people who probably don't think my content's good enough, and it's fair dues, but it's just that, as I say, I just don't see the point in sticking around when people just obviously aren't interested in the stuff I do. And clearly, I think I can clearly see that people don't really want the content that I do. That's basically the gist of it.
Analysis. Access to elevator control system blocked by external factor. Analysis. Access to elevator control system blocked by external factor.
What do we have to do here? Like, I can't jump up there, so I guess we're fucked. Because I don't see another way forward. Go down here. There we go. So, yeah, like, I mean, other than that, nothing's really going to change aside from the fact that I've been procrastinating for a while. Not gonna lie. I have been playing other games, though, that may be potentially reviewed later, I don't know. But I have been playing other games. And having fun with Shadow Hearts from the New World so far. I've had a lot of fun with that. Also been playing Kingdom Hearts, not so much fun with that. That game's been pretty boring. And yeah, that's basically what I've been doing. So basically just playing games and like all that lot. And just overall chilling. That's really been what I've been doing. Right. What is this? Don't even know what that is, but okay.
That huge structure is some kind of launch platform. A structure that size could probably shoot something into space pretty easily. Oh. So this is some kind of cannon aimed at the human server on the moon?
Insufficient data. Cannot confirm or deny.
Damn it.
Analysis.
So
There are 3 blocking devices on this floor.
Yeah. And I hack into all of them, right?
all I can say is, hopefully I don't fuck this next review up. Because it's not going to be an easy one. Like, this game is going to be a really hard game to review. Like, I found the issue, but how do I talk about the individual things, like the story? Like, people want to know about the story, obviously. And the story, like, I honestly can't say much on it. Like, I don't think much of it at all. Like, I honestly don't. Now, other than that, like the Shadow Warrior as well, which that's one of those games that it's enjoyable for what it is. It has a few, like, a few things that I I myself am not too keen on, mainly because I like Painkiller, and like, it takes a lot to satisfy me. Painkiller's like, let's put it this way, my standards are basically being hardened by Painkiller. Like, that game is just so good, and I want every first-person shooter to be like it. And it tries to be like Painkiller in a lot of ways, but it's not quite there. Let's put it that way. Like, there's a massive gap between Painkiller and other first-person shooters in terms of quality. Like, no first-person shooter has ever gotten close to being as good as Painkiller. Like, for me at least. Painkiller is the one. Like, the big one. And, like, I want to really see if I can, like, play a first-person shooter that can come close to it, because that'd be really good. Like, RPGs, there are RPGs that come really close, like, Randia 2 has come really close to being my favourite, but it's not Valkyrie Profile 2, so it's not my favourite. So, yeah, like, I guess we're going this way then. Or did we not? I guess we're going down this way then, I guess. It's pretty confusing, this section at the moment. What we're doing is hacking treasure chests, that's it. We're doing lots of hacking in the game. That's basically what we're doing at this point. I'll take this path. Yes. So yeah, that's basically the gist of it, of what I've been up to. So really, all I need to do now is get through this game and see if it can impress me. Because I want it to impress me, I do. Make my life a lot easier if it does. Oh, fuck. Like, that's the thing, like, I really do want to like games, like, it's not like I really want to hate games, I want to like games so that I can, like, I don't know, like, I mean, with Nier Automata, I want to like this game because I want to agree with the masses. Honestly, I do. I mean, granted, it's nice to have a different opinion, but I really do want a game that both me and the masses can like, you know what I mean? And I do think there are games like that out there, I guess, but at the moment I can't really think of them. Well, I can't think of one. Maybe there is one that I've completely forgotten about, but I just can't think of it right now. Right, so now I just need to kill this shit. Not get killed by those black balls. Ah, shit. But these hacking things, they're not easy. Like, they're the hardest part of the game if you ask me. Well, actually no. Some of the ways that this game is designed are pretty annoying and can be difficult in itself, so yeah. So basically I have to hack all and, well, kill all the enemies around here. That's what I need to do. But yeah, like, hopefully I can get another thing done as well, like, because that's another thing that I've noticed as well, that you might have noticed, that I haven't been doing anything besides my reviews recently. I've been trying to catch up on my reviews, but I do want to get something else done, but it's not easy. Like, I do find video content a lot more difficult in a lot of ways. I do, like, I just don't know a good format for them. Like, I just don't. So I just run with what I've got and pray that it's good enough. That's basically what I do when it comes to, like, oh, there's another one. Basically what I do when I do to video content, I just play it by ear. Just like, no plan. I just Leroy it, pretty much. And it's mainly because I just don't know a good format. Like, I just think, well, I'll just talk and put some footage there, pretty much, and hope that it works. That's usually what I do for that content, so yeah, I prefer doing written content. Even though it's a bitch to get screen caps for it, it's at least really fun for me to do, right? Like, the screen caps is a bitch, but like, there's something really satisfying when I do written articles or reviews. Just something more satisfying about it. I just get more satisfaction out of it, you know what I mean? Whereas with YouTube videos, they kind of are satisfying in some way, but not really. I just feel that it's just too brief for me. I like to go into more detail with things. And YouTube videos don't let me do that, at least effectively, and that's basically the gist of that, because I'm much more better at writing when it comes to discussing these long things. Unless I'm like off the cuff, which is why I do these streams and shit, so I can talk on off the cuff. I'm not really doing so well at this hacking minigame at all. Like, I'm doing shit. But yeah, streaming lets me talk off the cuff, and that's always good because I like to do that. I like to ramble, and that's what I like to do all the time, so it's a good way of me doing that. Unfortunately, when I'm rambling, I always fuck up in the actual game itself. So this is actually pretty difficult, is this hacking bit. Like, it really is. Like, the hacking bits are some of the more challenging parts of the game that aren't complete and utter bullshit. Like, I'm not knocking them. I think they're a good challenge. Honestly, I think they're a really good challenge, and it's really fun to do them because of the challenge, but like they're still hard, and I suck at them. And the rest of the game, I don't feel the same way. Like the combat in the sense of like on foot combat is just, it gets repetitive over time, and I just think it's a shame if it gets repetitive, because oh god, speaking of repetitive, watching me fail this countless times is, I might as well just kill myself already, because I got hit by one of them, so I'm just gonna kill myself already so I can get through this a lot easier. Like, if I can do one bit flawlessly, then it makes things easier for the next bit. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna try and be. I'm trying to be more careful here. Trying to get behind them. I'm not really great at these shoot 'em up type games at all. Like, never been any good at them. Like, that's not why I bought Nier Automata to play a shoot 'em up, but it seems that I have, because the shoot 'em up parts are probably the best parts. Like, particularly these bits. Like, I'm not sure about the other bits because of the camera, but since this remains top down for the most part, it's probably the best section of gameplay the game has. I'm not kidding. And it's challenging. Like, maybe it isn't to most people, but it is definitely challenging to me. That's one thing I can definitely say. Because I'm terrible at shoot 'em ups. Why did I run into that? Like, I would have to run into that, wouldn't I? Like, that just makes things so much more complicated now, because I've taken damage, and you can only take 3 hits until you... Yeah, I'm gonna get fucked. Yep, I got fucked again. This one in particular is a bitch to do. Yeah, I just keep running into them. That's one of the things that I seem to have a problem with these types of games. I just run into the things all the time. So instead of dodging, I actually like dodge into the attacks. Yeah, I just need to be a bit more careful. That's basically the gist of it. Like, particularly with the black ones, because you can't shoot them. But with these ones, not as much of a problem, because you just go behind them. Those black cylinders are a bit of a pain now. Definitely got to say that much. Fucking hell. But, believe me, I'm trying not to get hit here. But it's getting really difficult. Right, we got past that bit. Now we've got this bit to do. Right. So yeah, that's one thing I'll definitely say that really works in this game, the hacking minigames. I mean, they're simple, so how can you really fuck it up? But it's probably the thing that works the best in this game, if you ask me.
The Yora black box circuitry. It's made from cores from the machines? That's... No, that can't be true.
No, Darth Vader is not your father.
All elevator
But yeah, I guess I'm going to the next
unlocked.
elevator.
Proposal. Investigate the next area.
Of course. I mean, there are good things about this game, don't get me wrong. But I just think I'm not enjoying it. Well, I'm not enjoying it as much as I did before. Right, let's make some progress. I mean, there was that side quest to do, but... Oh. So now I'm 9S, apparently. Which makes no sense to me. But okay.
What's going on here? My body. Those are... my memories. But why?
Well... He's got his old weapon on him. Hey, maybe this might clear up the story a little bit.
That's 2B's data.
Now that's a face we haven't seen in a while.
I know these are just memories. But still... No, don't. Don't do this. Damn it, stop!
I think the message that this game's trying to give is, like,
Stay
about
the
memory.
hell out of my goddamn memories! These belong to me and me alone! Get away from them!
Well, this is going well. Right, let's see if I can... Can I hack him? Well, I can, so let's try that. Yep, you can pretty much solve everything by hacking in this game. Right, so with all these guys over here, this guy over here, and kill him, and I have to avoid all these black things to hit this hook. Yeah, there we go. Hopefully that's done some damage to him. Yeah, just keep plowing into him. Ah, fuck. And yeah, now we can hit this guy, or whatever the fuck it is. And
You're
he's
going
fucked.
down. They're mine! My memories! You hear me?
I love how he's just stabbing a doll. But at the same time he's stabbing that. And he's going nuts. Ocean access key. So yeah, made a bit of progress on this game now. A bit more progress, let's put it that way.
This is the current status of Unit 9S.
Affirmative. His mental state has become dangerously unstable. Action must be taken immediately.
I noticed something while providing support to A2. Enemy machine lifeforms have begun sharing data with each other.
We'd better look into that.
So 2A's kind
I'll
of been
share
more
the data
laid
with
back,
you,
whereas
so see what
9S
you
has
can
been
find
like
out.
Affirmative.
crazy as
I
fuck.
also have a separate report about 9S.
What is it?
I'll share the data. His psychological state has deteriorated to a grave level.
We'd better handle that quickly too.
Agreed. Not sure what we should do, however.
Agreed. Proposal. Rest, combined with data checking and maintenance.
Agreed. I will make the suggestion immediately.
Oh, and in case you're wondering, the reason why I don't have the chat bar on for this stream is because I might actually use this footage for something else. So, yeah, that's the reason why.
Where's the next resource recovery unit?
Alert. NFCS failure. Speculation. Failure caused by intense combat and lack of maintenance.
Near field controls are down? Great.
Proposal. Overhaul system at resistance camp.
I don't have that kind of time.
Alert. Entering battle without a functioning sword constitutes an unacceptable risk. Unit 9S should have Devila initiate repairs at the resistance camp.
Shit.
Yeah, that is the point. I think 9S and I need to take a chill pill. After today, we just had a bad day, you know what I mean? Can't even pick items up. It's that bad. Right, let's go to the resistance camp. Saves us time, and that means we can get going with the story rather than just wandering around constantly getting fucked by this malfunction. Oh, what's happened to my health bar?
Oh dear.
There's something about those
What
two.
happened to you?
Wounded in battle. NFCS not functioning.
I'm amazed you were even able to drag yourself here. This is gonna take a bit, so just hang tight. This is terrible. Your motor cortex is full of holes. I can't believe you even managed to walk here. Alright, you're all good.
Right,
9S.
so what does that mean?
I need you to promise me something. Don't die alone. I don't think 2B would want that either.
I know.
Ah, so I can shoot. Right, so since I've made some progress, I guess I can do that side mission, because there was a side mission that I did get. Oh, yeah, I forgot. My controller's fucked for God knows what reasons, and now pressing circle. Yeah, that happens. In case you're wondering, I'm pressing circle and it just puts me back in. So, yeah, I can't do side missions anymore.
Hi.
I can only use the map.
Mark the next resource recovery unit on the map.
Affirmative.
I honestly don't know whether that's the game or just my controller that's fucked. Like, I don't think that I'll be getting any more PlayStation 4 games in the future. Like, because when I got Kingdom Hearts 1.5, 2.5, like, it says that I was low on memory. And as such, it's like, well, looks like that's the end of the PS4, doesn't it? But, yeah. From now, it'll probably mostly be PC games that I'll be focusing on. And this game is on PC, but at the time I didn't have, well, I still don't have a PC that can run it. And apparently the PC port isn't brilliant anyways, but I'd rather play a bad port than play a game on a bad system that has a controller that doesn't fucking work properly. I assume that it's the controller that's doing all this shit, because definitely isn't, well, because all of this has worked before, like, no, one of these guys. That's another thing about this game, like, you always find yourself in the same areas time and time again. Pretty much. But yeah, not sure that I will be streaming too long, to be honest, considering everything. Like, how long have we been streaming? It's about an hour. Really, do I want to carry on and do the next bit? Because this is a good stopping point. I mean, it is. You know what? I'll just stop here. I don't see any reason to continue at this point, because, like, the next video will just take too long, and, like, I just want to just really stop playing, because this game's getting a little boring. It is. And I didn't want to stream this game, but I just wanted to give you a heads up that the games I'll be streaming, there won't be many of them now, which is disappointing, but that's just the way it is, I'm afraid. The games I'll be streaming is going to be a lot more limited than it was before, and yeah, I'm just going to go and sleep so that I can save the game and shut down the stream. But yeah, maybe XSplit will work, and you might see another stream of a different game from a different console, but I don't know at this point. I honestly don't know what's going wrong. So yeah, this has been happening a lot now. So yeah, I can't really help it, and I can't really do anything about it, but all I can say is hope you've enjoyed watching the stream, and hope that you can be patient and wait for my next content to come out, because yeah, I've been procrastinating, so it'll be quite a while. But I just thought I owed it to you guys to keep you all up to date on what's going on my end and all that shit, and also just to talk about some shit that was on my mind at the time. So yeah, see you guys.